YouTube, what it do? It's your boy TWV coming back for another edition of the Friday Night SmackDown recap and review. This Friday Night SmackDown was from Barcelona in Spain, as the WWE has kicked off its European Road to WrestleMania tour. So the next 3 weeks, everything will be overseas. So the show for Raw will be coming on at 3 o'clock. I think the same thing for SmackDown. I will be able to watch Raw at 3 o'clock because it's on Netflix. So the Raw videos will be going out a lot earlier. They may be going out on Mondays instead of Tuesdays the next couple weeks. SmackDown videos, those will be still coming out on Saturdays. But with that being said, it's your boy TWV. Let's get into the Friday Night SmackDown recap. So to kick off this show, LA Knight, the newly crowned United States Championship, had a spirited promo that electrified the Barcelona crowd. Embracing the audience enthusiasm, Knight acknowledged the historic nature of SmackDown's debut in Barcelona and playfully engaged with their chants. He confidently declared that while he holds the U.S. Championship, his appeal is global, emphasizing that the title is back where it rightfully belongs with him. The segment took a competitive turn with Big Jim interrupted, expressing the desperation to secure a spot at WrestleMania by challenging Knight for the U.S. title. Before a response could be given, Solo Sikoa, accompanied by Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, entered the scene. Sikoa argued that Fatu deserved the next title shot, accusing Knight of stealing the pin in their previous encounter. Tensions escalated as Sikoa labeled Uso the family's biggest failure, leading to a heated exchange where Uso retorted that trusting Sikoa was his own failure and reminded Sikoa of his loss to Roman Reigns. The confrontation erupted into a brawl with Sikoa, Fatu, and Tonga attacking Knight and Uso. The chaos prompted Braun Strowman to storm to the ring, evening the odds and igniting the crowd. Seizing the moment, SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis announced an impromptu 6-man tag team match: LA Knight, Big Jim Uso, and Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. So they kind of just threw this together. I do like that Jimmy Uso is jumping into that U.S. title scene. I literally predicted this the last couple weeks. I kept saying, like, man, I hope Jimmy Uso can somehow figure out how to jump into that U.S. title scene. And now we had a ball rolling. Because I think we're going to do like a Matt and Jeff Hardy type of thing back in the day. When Jeff won the WWE Championship, Matt was the ECW champion. So it'll be like a cool moment to have Jay be the World Heavyweight Champion when he defeats Gunther, and Jimmy be the United States Champion. Like, it'll be a cool moment, something that they'll definitely cherish, because they were both tag team specialists that have become Jay is the single superstar. Jimmy's cool too for singles, but I do feel like, hey, if we just doing something different leading post WrestleMania 41, why not? I'm definitely a fan of it. With that being said, let's jump into the match. So the match commenced with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso exchanging strikes, showcasing their deeply seated rivalry. Sikoa gained the upper hand with an aggressive corner work, but Uso countered with a series of chops and punches. An attempted interference by Tama Tonga allowed Sikoa to capitalize, delivering a spinning solo onto Uso. Jacob Fatu then tagged in, executing a senton and taunting the crowd with his signature theatrics. As the match progressed, LA Knight entered the fray, bringing his dynamic offense to the forefront. He connected with a sidestep, jumping neckbreaker, and a DDT, but Fatu showcased his resilience by kicking out at one and retaliating with a super kick followed by a lariat. Knight attempted his finishing move to BFT, but interference from Sikoa and Tonga disrupted his momentum, allowing Fatu to regain control. The turning point came once Knight evaded Sikoa's ode to Rikishi and executed a back suplex, creating an opportunity to tag in Braun Strowman. Strowman unleashed his trademark freight train offense, bulldozing through his opponents. Jim Uso capitalized by diving on the Fatu on the ringside, while Strowman re-entered and delivered a running power slam to Tama Tonga, securing the pinfall victory for his team. Despite the victory, the aftermath showed the defeated trio launch a vicious assault on the winners. Jacob Fatu punctuated the attack with a pair of double jumping moonsaults on the Strowman, leaving the audience in shock and setting the stage for a future potential clash. So the tag team match was smooth. I loved everything about it. It was really just, hey, we just gonna throw y'all in here and we gonna let y'all work. It definitely furthered the storyline with Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. But I do need us to steer the ship back to Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I feel like in the last 2 weeks we have got away from that, and now we need that. We need that for sure. Like, we cannot steer the ship away from that. But yeah, Triple H, don't mess this up at all, bro. Like, you have the booking right there. The crowd is behind it. Don't screw the story up. But with that being said, let's get to the next one. The next segment was Jade Cargill in a sit-down interview with Kathy Kelly, addressing her recent attack by Naomi and ensuing fallout. Cargill began by affirming her physical readiness to return to the ring, dismissing Naomi's portrayal as a victim as pathetic. She expressed disdain for Naomi's insinuation that she needed assistance to advance her career, stating, "As if I needed a handout." When questioned about her delayed revelation of Naomi's involvement, Cargill recounted the incident, noting she was struck from behind and thrown onto a car, after which she saw Naomi fleeing the scene. She emphasized the betrayal, saying Naomi's actions attacked not her physically, but also her integrity, loyalty, and heart. The interview took an unexpected turn when Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez interrupted. Morgan confronted Cargill, expressing frustration over being wrongly blamed for the attack. The exchange grew heated, culminating in Cargill challenging Morgan to a match on the following week's SmackDown. Morgan retorted with a taunt, advising Cargill to avoid getting pushed into any cars, prompting Cargill to storm off. So I loved everything about this. And, you know, I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling and the women's division as a whole. I love how all the stories are getting intertwined together. So like Naomi did the attack, but then they blame Liv Morgan and Raquel because in the video they seen Raquel and Liv walking away from where Jade had got attacked at. So, you know, I love how everything is just coming together and we're building a bigger storyline. Like I seen on Twitter where some people think that Naomi's taking the bullet for Bianca, and there's a bigger story with that. Like when she said, "I did this for you, I did this for us," like, you know, she did it for both of us type of thing. So definitely love where this storyline's going. Can't wait to see where it plays out. My speculation is we go Jade Cargill, Naomi in a singles match for WrestleMania, and then post WrestleMania, I feel like we build to figuring out that Bianca was the one that really did it to get Jay out of the way so she can, you know, go chase the world title and become the champ. And then we build to Jay versus Bianca. I want to say SummerSlam. I feel like that would be really good, but really good and really compelling match. But that would be May. So that's May, June, July, August. That's 4 months to build it. I feel like you can build a great match in 4 months with them. Of course, you're going to have some little, I guess, tag matches between that. I guess Jade has to find like a teammate or somebody. But I definitely see that this can go to SummerSlam. If not, they could do it in Backlash the next month. I kind of feel like that would be lackluster. I do feel like the Jade Bianca thing, if that is a direction they would want to go, is something that you can get all the way to SummerSlam with. So I'm going to hold my horses. I'm going to be, you know, got to watch the product like I do every week and just, you know, see where it goes and see where it pans out. So with that being said, let's get into the next one. The next in-ring action was Charlotte Flair facing B-Fab in a singles match that showcased both competitive skills and furthered ongoing storylines. The match began with Flair asserting her dominance, utilizing her technical prowess to control the early moments. She delivered her signature chops, eliciting woo chants from the enthusiastic Barcelona crowd. B-Fab, however, was not to be underestimated. She countered Flair's offense with a pump kick, earning a near fall and demonstrating her resilience. Flair responded with a super kick, setting up for the natural selection. She then applied the figure 8 submission hold, securing the victory as B-Fab tapped out at approximately 8 minutes and 22 seconds into the match. After the bell, Flair refused to release the figure 8, intensifying the situation. This prompted WWE's Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton to rush to the ring. A fierce brawl ensued between the two, with security struggling to separate them. The confrontation escalated as Stratton executed a swanton bomb off of the top rope onto the crowd, and then post-commercial break, they were brawling again. Tiffany Stratton executed another swanton bomb off of the Titantron, leaving a lasting impression and heightening the anticipation for the potential clash at WrestleMania. Two things to this. B-Fab showed out. I'm a big B-Fab fan. B-Fab has been in a couple different groups and was like a talking piece, but now she's getting that not superstar, that singles run, and she's raw, but she has a lot of talent. I really am a big fan of B-Fab and where she's gonna go. I'm a big fan of putting people right in that intercontinental United States Championship mix. Put as many people there and figure out who can either be the champ or who can break through and get to that main event tier. Like, I love having those secondary women's titles now, because you can elevate so many people now and see, it's like, okay, you had a great championship run with this. Okay, let's see what you do with the big sharks. Like, let's move you up and see if you're a main event player. Like, I love that for the women's division for sure. The same thing with the men's division. Those belts have been around forever though, but these are just newly crowned. These belts just both got crowned champions, I want to say, at the start of January. So there have only been 3 months, and the champs have had the belts for 3 months. So definitely going into WrestleMania, post WrestleMania, I do see that we have new women's Intercontinental and United States champions. I really want Michin to win the U.S. title because she got swept. I think I talked about that last week. And for the Intercontinental side on Raw, I would like Dakota Kai to win it. Dakota Kai has lost like 3 or 4 matches to Lila Valkyrie. So I feel like that would be the direction we go. And then, we could kind of hand it off to anybody else after that. Not hand it off, but, you get a 3-month run, boom, new champ, type of thing. The way WWE has been pulling the trigger on changing belts lately, I have no problem with it. As long as it makes sense and the next person can have a good run as well. I mean, if we handed the belt off every 3-4 months and everybody's having good runs at 3-4 months at a time and showcasing their skills and putting on good matches, I have no problem. So, with that being said, let's get into the next one. The next segment was Drew McIntyre delivering a pre-recorded promo addressing his escalating feud with Damian Priest. In the vignette, McIntyre reflected on his recent setbacks, attributing many of them to Priest's interference. He recounted how Priest had previously taken the title from him and had repeatedly thwarted his championship aspirations. McIntyre emphasized that his current focus wasn't on reclaiming the title, but exacting retribution against Priest, vowing to put him down for good and ensure Priest could no longer hinder his career. So, everybody on Twitter was hating that Drew McIntyre was going to run this feud with Damian Priest, but when you look at it storyline wise, Damian Priest has been screwing McIntyre over since last April at last year's WrestleMania. He won the belt. Drew won the belt off of Seth Rollins. Boom. Teases CM Punk, and CM Punk knocks him off the announce desk. Boom. Priest comes cash in. Boom. Priest is the champ now. Then he runs it back. He loses to Priest, I think. I think he loses the rematch at Backlash. He wins Money in the Bank. He cashes in Money in the Bank the same night. CM Punk screws him, so he loses the match. so yeah, man. Drew McIntyre's been getting screwed by Damian Priest and CM Punk since last year. So obviously this feud makes sense to me because I've watched for the last year, and it's like, okay, like when are we, like in the back of my mind, it's like, when are we gonna get to McIntyre and Priest? Because like Priest been hoeing him. So and we're finally at it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm a fan of both superstars. I mean, these are still 2 main event guys. They're just going to be lower on the rung for WrestleMania because it is WrestleMania weekend. But with everything in this little quick promo, I loved it. So let's get to the next one. The next segment was Miz TV featuring an appearance by undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. The segment began with the Miz addressing the audience, expressing his disagreement with Cody's recent decision to reject an offer from The Rock, which led to Cody being attacked by 2 of the best rappers on the planet, which would be John Cena and Travis Scott. Miz also highlighted his own WrestleMania victory over John Cena, contrasting it with Cody's current situation. So the Miz don't even remember half of his match, which is unfortunate. He got a concussion in this match against John Cena, but he has a point. He has beat John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. He retained it. So it was a good callback. So if you're a wrestling historian like myself, you knew what he was talking about. If you don't, go do your homework, look the match up. Yeah, I don't remember the match. I don't think I watched that WrestleMania actually. It'll be in the 40 years of WrestleMania with TWV. So once we get to that WrestleMania, we will not circle back, but we will have that opinion of that match. But then Cody Rhodes made his entrance, receiving a warm reception from the Barcelona crowd. The Miz interrupted his whoa chant, so Cody Rhodes was visibly frustrated. So Cody took control by delivering a punch to Miz, followed by a signature move to Crossroads, leaving Miz incapacitated. Taking the microphone, Cody addressed John Cena directly, expressing his desire to speak with him and inviting Cena to join him on the upcoming episode of Raw. So next Monday's Raw is going to be amazing because Cena's going to be there, Cody's going to be there. They're going to have a segment. There's no way they don't have a segment. I think Roman might be there. Punk's going to be there. I don't know if Seth's going to be there, but I think we're about to build to all of this. If not Monday, Friday, Paul, Punk, Roman, Seth, and all of them are going to be there because I've seen on Twitter it's 12 years since Punk, Rollins, and Roman's like were in the ring, like when like Roman and Rollins was in the Shield and something like that, or 13 years. It's gonna be a cool thing to see. I cannot wait. With that being said, let's get to the next one. The next in-ring action was Damian Priest facing Shinsuke Nakamura in a highly anticipated match. The bout was set up earlier in the evening when both competitors expressed their desires for significant matches to general manager Nick Aldis. Nakamura seeking a rematch after last week's controversial finish, and Priest aiming for a showdown with Drew McIntyre. Aldis responded by booking Priest versus Nakamura for tonight's event. The match began with both superstars showcasing their striking abilities, creating a hard-hitting and evenly matched contest. Priest utilized his power advantage to deliver impactful moves, including a old-school rope walk into a cross-body block, demonstrating his agility. Nakamura countered with his signature strong style, employing precise kicks and knee strikes to keep Priest at bay. As the match progressed, Priest gained the upper hand and prepared to execute his finishing move, South of Heaven. At this critical moment, Drew McIntyre's entrance music hit, and he appeared standing on the announce desk, distracting Priest. This distraction allowed Nakamura to attempt a roll-up, but Priest kicked out. Nakamura then set up for his finishing maneuver to Kinshasa, but Priest countered. Before Priest could capitalize, McIntyre attacked him, leading to a disqualification victory for Priest. Following the disqualification, McIntyre continued his assault on Priest, gouging his eyes and repeatedly slamming him into the barricade. Nakamura seized the opportunity to hit Priest with a Kinshasa before exiting. McIntyre wasn't finished. He delivered a Claymore kick to Priest and declared his intention to make Priest's life a living hell, intensifying their ongoing feud. So, in my opinion, the match advanced the storylines between Priest and McIntyre, and Priest and Nakamura definitely delivered a solid in-ring match. Like, their styles contrasted each other because Priest is a physical powerhouse like brawler, and then Nakamura is more of a Japanese strong style wrestler. So Japanese strong style would mean like he's heavy hitting with like punches and kicks and like suplexes when he's able to do them on a wrestler like around his size. So even though they contrasted, their styles are kind of the same but different, and I enjoyed the match. Pre disqualification, it was on the way. It was getting a 3. Nothing like you need to see this, but I did enjoy the match. Like, it was a really good match. It was really well thought of. But yeah, we're basically just advancing the storyline of McIntyre and Priest ongoing into WrestleMania. So with that being said, it checked off all the boxes with me. Let's get to the next one. The next segment featured WWE Tag Team Champions DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and the Motor City Machine Guns. In the segment, DIY were interviewed ahead of their title defense against the Street Profits. Ciampa claimed that the SmackDown boasts the best tag division because they are at the top, with other teams striving to reach their level. Gargano added that while the Street Profits claim they want to smoke, they tend to choke in title matches. At this point, Motor City Machine Guns Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin entered the scene, confronting DIY about their recent behavior. Shelley dismissed DIY's remarks, stating that they don't care about their dumbass moment of silence. He emphasized that the entire tag division is now talking to DIY and reminded them of their unfinished business once the match with the Street Profits concludes. Triple H must be listening to the TWV because I told him warm the tag division up and everybody's out for blood against each other. Unfortunately, we still had the same 5 tag teams doing this, but hey, I mean, if everybody got a fire under their ass, I'm cool with it. At least they're motivated and they're all chasing the same goal. So that leads to great television. That's going to lead to great matches. So I'm a fan of it. It wasn't nothing too spectacular in the promo where it's like, oh, you need to go watch this. It just advanced the storyline, and I'm always cool with storyline advancing. Like, sometimes when you're reading a good book, sometimes a chapter stinks, but you need that chapter to get to the next chapter in the book where it heats up. So I'm cool with it. This was just adding another layer to what we're building towards WrestleMania, probably. And with that being said, let's get into the next one. The next backstage segment was Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green, highlighting her growing faction and set the stage for her future title defenses. In the segment, Green, flanked by her associates Piper Niven and the newly recruited Alba Fire, addressed her recent victory over Michin and establishment of the Green administration. Green confidently declared that her faction was now in full force, emphasizing her dominance in the women's division. The interview was interrupted by Zelina Vega, who confronted Green and expressed her intention to challenge for the Women's United States Championship. Piper Niven stepped in, asserting that Vega would need to go through them first to earn a title shot. Unfazed, Vega accepted the challenge, setting up a match against Niven for the following week's SmackDown. So what I liked about this segment was it showcased Chelsea Green's strategic alliance with Piper Niven and Alba Fire, definitely reinforcing her status as a formidable champion. The introduction of the Green administration was something really cool, showing that she's the leader of the group, and you know, she surrounded herself with good allies and things of that to keep her championship. I did like that Zelina Vega did come through and give not a confrontation, but like, hey, I want to be champ next. Like, hey, I want to get a match. Like, it was, you know, we build storylines, and like I said, we're just throwing people at the champ, and we're seeing what we can get. I don't even remember the last time Zelina Vega wrestled a actual match. If I look it up, it may be 3-4 months possibly. But now that we got these belts, now we can put more people on TV every week, or we could put them in promos every week. Like, yeah, we weren't in the ring, but we're showcasing another talent, and that's all I'm about, is showcasing the talent. Yeah, some people ain't gonna be able to get on TV, but if you working for it, I will put I will put you on TV. I don't write this, like I say all the time, but let's see what we can get. Like, just sometimes you gotta throw things at the wall and see if it sticks. Hey, I loved everything about the So, with that being said, let's get to the next one. The next match was Randy Orton facing Carmelo Hayes in a highly anticipated singles match. So, Randy Orton and Carmelo Hayes previously had a match on the SmackDown, I want to say pre-King of the Ring. I think it was the King of the Ring start. It was a great match. So this was maybe like last May, June. It was really good, though. It was really good. Definitely enjoyed it. Carmelo Hayes is that dude. I'm going to speak so highly about Carmelo Hayes. Randy Orton is an absolute legend. Him still being able to go this late into his career is just a testament. Just like CM Punk and all of them, like they're in their mid-40s, still going strong. And it's just something cool to see. When they retire, it's definitely going to be something sad. But the next generation is a lot of future superstars in this next generation, so I am excited about that. But let's circle back to the match. The bout commenced with both competitors exhibiting their technical prowess, engaging in a series of holds and counter holds. Orton, leveraging his experience, attempted to dictate the pace, while Hayes showcased his agility to evade early offense. Mid-match, Hayes gained momentum, executing a springboard DDT that earned him a near fall. As the contest progressed, Orton countered Hayes' aerial assault with his signature power slam, followed by a hanging DDT. Hayes responded with the first 48 maneuver, but Orton evaded a subsequent top rope attack, leading to a superplex that further shifted the momentum. In the climax, Hayes attempted his finishing move, nothing but net, but Orton intercepted with a forearm strike. After thwarting another first 48 attempt, Orton delivered a decisive RKO, securing the pinfall victory. Following the match, Orton extended a hand to Hayes in a gesture of respect. However, Hayes rejected the sportsmanship by shoving Orton, prompting the Viper to deliver a second RKO. Orton then prepared to execute his notorious punt kick, but Kevin Owens intervened, pulling Hayes to safety and engaging in a brief skirmish with Orton before retreating through the crowd. So I loved everything about it because, like I just said, the match showcased Randy Orton's like veteran experience, and then Carmelo Hayes is being like younger talent, so the youthful experience. Definitely liked Randy Orton's methodical approach against Carmelo Hayes' high-flying style. It definitely created a different dynamic, and it was 10 minutes, like I said, but I was locked in for all 10 minutes because they were going in. Everything about it, like the in-ring storytelling, I told you previously in the video, one thing I love about wrestling is, can you tell me a story? Can you tell me a story through a promo? Can you tell me a story through the ring? So, and the story of this match was Carmelo trying to get the first 48, and of course he didn't get it, and he got RKO. But it definitely showcased like Carmelo Hayes' skills to go with anybody in the ring. Like Carmelo Hayes has been in the ring with Cody Rhodes now twice, Randy Orton now twice. So on the internet they're hating like, hey, Carmelo Hayes is not getting the push. I said in the previous video, if you're on TV, you're doing better than people that sit in catering. So that's a positive. But back to just Carmelo Hayes, he showed a lot of resilience with near falls, and he had the audience, man. Man. So I did really enjoy this match. It was a 10-minute. For it to be 10 minutes, 10 minutes isn't a lot of time, but 10 minutes is a lot of time in wrestling. So it felt like a sprint, but it was like paced really well. Like that's one big thing too. That's another thing I need to add to my box of what I like in wrestling. Can you pace a match where it's not like, oh, this is going too fast or it's going too slow? Like, give me a middle ground where it's like, okay, we picking up the pace, then it's like, ooh, we slowing it down, we working the crowd, things of that nature. But I loved everything about this. Carmelo Hayes is that dude, one of my favorite wrestlers on the come up, and with that, Randy Orton's a legend. I can't wait for him and Kevin Owens to get their hands on each other. That's going to be great, and Randy finally being able to do the punt kick after so many years. So with that being said, let's get to the next one. The next segment showcased Jacob Fatu delivering a backstage promo that showcased his fierce and intense persona and set the stage for an upcoming clash with Braun Strowman. Flanked by Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, Fatu exuded confidence as he addressed the camera, promising to dog walk Strowman's ass when they face off next week. And man, when Jacob Fatu is on your TV screen, I don't think he believes wrestling is fake. I think he really be out here for blood. Like the confidence Jacob Fatu exudes when he's on your TV screen, bro. It's magical. It's magical. It make you want to run through a brick wall. You feel the words that is coming out of his mouth. It's like, you be ready to get I'm ready to dog walk Braun Strowman as I'm talking about this. And Braun Strowman is like 6'7". But man, Jacob Fatu make you believe you can do anything you want to. But with that being said, I loved everything about the promo. Let's get to the next one. The next in-ring action was World Heavyweight Champion Gunther facing hometown hero Axiom in a compelling non-title match. Gunther delivered a promo expressing his enthusiasm about performing in Spain and his admiration for Real Madrid, exclaiming "Hala Madrid" to the crowd's mixed reactions because they were in Barcelona. So in soccer, I think Real Madrid doesn't like the Spanish soccer team, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch soccer, but it was pretty funny because I knew what he was talking about. I just don't know what teams he was talking about. He then issued an open challenge, which was accepted by Axiom, a Spanish native and a rising star in WWE's NXT. The match began with Axiom utilizing his speed and technical prowess to evade Gunther's initial offense, showcasing his agility with quick counters and evasive maneuvers. The champion soon imposed his will, delivering his signature thunderous chops and powerful strikes, grounding Axiom and dictating the pace. Despite the onslaught, Axiom displayed remarkable resilience, mounting a comeback with high-flying maneuvers, including a springboard DDT that garnered a near fall, igniting the Barcelona crowd. In the match's climax, Axiom attempted a top rope maneuver, but Gunther countered with a devastating mid-air chop, followed by a powerbomb for the decisive pinfall victory. Post-match, Gunther applied a sleeper hold onto the defeated Axiom, refusing to release the hold despite officials' pleas. This display of aggression underscored Gunther's ruthless demeanor and sent a clear message to his WrestleMania opponent, Jey Uso. Hey man, it was Axiom and Gunther went crazy. Gunther is definitely the best of the world. Conversations with me, like real graps. Real graps, man. He could tell you a story in that ring better than anybody on the roster, in my opinion. Like, he gets in there and he pulverizes people. He pulverizes them. And it's just like, man, Axiom is so great as well. Like, Axiom had just put on a banger match on Tuesday in New York with his tag team partner, Nathan Frazier, against the Hardys, and then jumped on a flight all the way to Spain. Like, shout out to him. Like, he's been on a hell of a run this week. Just in general, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, a.k.a. Fraxiom over in NXT, have been on just a great run. Not to get long-winded about the NXT guys, but it was so cool to have just an NXT guy in his hometown get basically the main event. This was the co-main event of the evening, and just get that big spot and have his hometown crowd just really behind him. I was really happy for him, just as a guy that has watched Axiom, which was previously a kid in NXT UK back in 2019-2020, and then NXT UK unfortunately shut down, and everybody from NXT UK, if they didn't leave WWE, they came to America. So just seeing him rebranding the Axiom and just, man, putting on bangers after bangers after bangers, word to my brother Sheamus. But I loved everything about this. Gunther is a demon. Like, Gunther's that guy, but he will lose to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, and we will be yeeting all over Vegas. Pause. And with that being said, let's get to the next one. The next in-ring segment was Paul Heyman delivering a promo that captivated the Barcelona audience. Emerging to a chorus of boos, Heyman began by declaring the day as Roman Reigns Day, aligning with the global release of WWE 2K25's video game, which Reigns is the cover star. He then addressed the discontent from certain quarters regarding Reigns' cover feature, notably mentioning CM Punk. He dismissed these grievances, emphasizing that the day was dedicated to Reigns, not Punk or Seth Rollins. Building anticipation, Heyman announced that Roman Reigns will make a live appearance on that week's SmackDown in Bologna, Italy, inviting anybody with issues to confront Reigns directly. So this is about to be a fire episode of SmackDown, because we're about to get crazy. Like, Roman's showing up, Seth's gonna pop up, Punk already said on Instagram he pulling up, and Paul Heyman gonna be in the middle of all of this, because Paul Heyman was CM Punk's advocate back in the day, and you know, now he's Roman's wise man, so we gotta teeter that line. I think we get the favor announced next Friday, because they literally have been saying the favor on commentary the last 2-3 weeks. So I'm like, okay, we're about to heat this up now, because now the favor is getting into play, because we're getting closer and closer to WrestleMania. We 35 days away now. It's getting dicey. So, ooh-wee. It's time to pull out the bag of tricks and see where we get. I loved everything about it, even though it was short and sweet. It just, advanced the storyline, so I can't wait till next Friday. With that being said, let's get into the next one. The next segment was the Street Profits. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins were featured in a backstage segment that set the stage for their championship match later that night. As they prepared for the main event match against the reigning WWE Tag Team Champions DIY, they were approached by members of Legado del Fantasma. They expressed their desire for a title shot, stating that they hoped the Street Profits would win so they could challenge them next. In response, Montez Ford delivered a passionate promo reflecting on their 4-year journey and the noise they encountered along the way. He emphasized their determination to silence the doubters and seize the championships that night. Angelo Dawkins echoed this sentiment, culminating with their signature declaration that they want to smoke, and it was beautiful, because the new heel version of the Street Profits, I love everything about it. They put an edge on them, like, hey man, they deserve it. They have not held championship gold in 5 years, since 2020. They say 4 years, but it's really been 5. I remember actually when they lost the belts. They lost the belts, I want to say, to the Usos at Money in the Bank in 2020 or 2021, one of them two. But yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years. Like, they definitely deserve it. They're, if not one of the best tag team in the division. Like, now that the Usos are broken up, Street Profits will be the best tag team. Then I would go DIY. I would have to go War Raiders too. War Raiders could be up there. The Creed Brothers could be up there. Like, there's a lot of, if we're going both brands and merging them, like, yeah, they're the best. If we're going all three, if we go NXT, Frax Team is definitely the best tag team in WWE. But if we're just gonna go main roster, I would go Street Profits for sure. Since we don't have the Usos right now at the moment, because they're both chasing their singles golds or single stories. But with that being said, let's get into the next one. The next segment showcased Jimmy Uso and World Heavyweight Champion Gunther setting the stage for WrestleMania 41. Following his victory over Axiom, Gunther approached Jimmy Uso in the locker room, acknowledging Jimmy as the more mature of the Uso brothers, and referenced his recent match where he choked Axiom out and left him laying like a wet towel. Gunther then made an unexpected request. He asked Jimmy to persuade his brother Jay Uso to withdraw from their scheduled World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania, implying that Jay would face a similar fate if he proceeded. Jimmy responded confidently, dismissing Gunther's imitation tactics, asserting that at WrestleMania, the ring general drops rank and he drops the title, emphasizing his belief in Jay's ability to dethrone Gunther. So, man, I loved everything about it because Gunther's nervous. Gunther's nervous because it's like he know he might lose to Jay Uso, and now it's like he wants to undermine Jay through Jimmy, and you know, that's definitely cool. It's showcasing his like strategic ring general mindset. But then Jimmy, of course, showing his unwavering support for his brother. So I definitely loved everything about that. So it's gonna be interesting now. Like, I see Gunther's heating up too, like picking the pace up with this storyline as well. So it's about to get nasty in the next couple weeks. I hope Crash Out Jay Uso makes a return on the way to WrestleMania 41. If y'all don't know about Crash Out Jay Uso, go look up Jay Uso from 2020 to 2021, maybe 2022, when he was the right-hand man. Man, he was wrecking shop every week, beating the brakes off of everybody in the SmackDown division, man. That being said, let's get into the next one. The main event of the evening was the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, challenging DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The match took place at the Olimpic Arena in Barcelona, Spain, marking a historic night as SmackDown aired from this venue for the first time. This bout began with both teams showcasing their athleticism and technical prowess. Gargano and Ciampa utilized quick tags and synchronized maneuvers to maintain early control. However, the challenger's resilience became evident as Dawkins powered through with impactful offense, including a notable sequence where he cleaned house upon tagging in. A pivotal moment occurred when Ford attempted a 450 splash only to land on Ciampa's raised knees, resulting in a near fall. The champions capitalized with their signature fairy tale ending and super kick combination on Dawkins, but the pin was narrowly broken up by Ford. The climax saw Ford executing a high elevation frog splash on Gargano, securing the pinfall victory and clinching the WWE Tag Team titles for the Street Profits at the 11 minutes and 52-second mark. The victory not only underscored the Street Profits' perseverance, but also added a significant accolade to their careers. I think now with this, the Street Profits are either, I don't know if it's 4-time, 5-time, or 6-time tag team champions, but the Street Profits have held the belts a good amount of times. I would have to double check that. But they're anywhere between 4 to 6-time tag team champions. Cause I think they held it twice on Raw, maybe 3 times on Raw, and I think twice or maybe 3 times on SmackDown. So yeah, and it got NXT, so they're up there. Maybe they're like 5 to 6 to 7-time champions if you count all of WWE. Street Profits are an amazing tag team. I'm finally glad that they got their flowers. They finally got their moment, and now we're about to see this tag team division heat up even more, because now we had the DIY drop the belts, and now, you know, they're going to get people talking trash to them, which is going to set up more feuds. So basically, we're just about to revolving door to feuds again until WrestleMania, because at one point it's probably going to be a big brawl segment again like last week with all the tag teams, or it's a segment where one tag team's out cutting a promo, the next team, and then it's like, all right, well, we'll put the titles up at WrestleMania, yada, yada, yada. So that's probably what we're going to get to. I have no problem with it. I loved everything about it. This episode with SmackDown was really good, but it was good just from segment to in-ring, back to segments and everything. But it's great because that Barcelona crowd made you just feel, man, it jumped through the screen when you were watching. Like, it made you feel like you was there with them. Like, they're singing Randy Orton's theme song, the pop that LA Knight got. Like, man, the pop Cody Rhodes got. Like, man, I loved everything about this episode of SmackDown. It's your boy TWV, checking in and checking out. I'll catch you on later this evening with episode 8 of 40 years of WrestleMania with TWV. And then I will catch you again on Tuesday for the Monday Night Raw recap. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.